This is a chat to the professional, the show that has been designed to x-ray the activities of professional individuals and corporate bodies. As usual, my name is Martin Subu, and I'm sure glad to be with you. Today, we are going to be looking at an issue that, of course, I'm sure will gladden the hearts of particularly the very young minds, and indeed, a majority of our mothers. We are discussing entertainment, and we are focusing our attention on the development of the industry as against our educational development. We're going to have a guest you want to watch. We're talking about the past president of the Actors Guild of Nigeria. By now, I'm sure you are guessing, but a lot of people call him the Don. And when I say that, I'm sure you understand. I can only but ask you to remain there, don't go anywhere, because by the time we come back from the break, we are going to be introducing our guest to discuss this issue. Please stay. You're welcome back. You're still watching A Chat to the Professional, the show that has been designed to x-ray the activities of professional individuals and corporate bodies. Like I mentioned to you in my opening, today we are looking at entertainment as well as education. Remember what I said? I somehow stood the risk of being misunderstood to be an anti-entertainment person. But today, I have a professional here with me, someone who knows what it takes to be an entertainment practitioner, who will assist us in analyzing what we talk about when we talk about education and training and passion for what you do. So join me now as I welcome to the show the former President Actors Guild of Nigeria. Also, he went into politics, talking about being the special advisor to the governor of Abia State on culture. And here with me is Ejike Asiegbu, the Don himself.
Thank you very much. Hello, viewers.
All right. Over time on this show, I have cried out to whoever cares to listen that 10 years from now, we may not be able to have enough and competent professionals to oversee the affairs of both governance and the overall economy of this nation. Owing to the recent craze for entertainment, every corporate organization is trying to outdo the other in sponsoring the reality shows on singing, dancing, acting. And then I've been asking, will entertainment on itself sustain the economy? I was thinking that is when the economy thrives, that the entertainment industry booms. So what's your take on that?
Well, very well said. I think it's one of the best things that has happened to us.
Yes.
The entertainment industry, and by extension corporate bodies. And if corporate bodies are now beginning to sponsor and have seen the need for entertainment, I think we count ourselves lucky. But if you look at the history actually of entertainment, it's an industry that prior to this time, prior to this period, was not looked at as being serious-minded. Perchance, taking you a little bit back, if you said you wanted to be a footballer, because football is entertainment, you are generally regarded as a dropout. If you wanted to be a musician, God save you, because your parents will tell you, well, who do you think is going to pay your school fees? If you wanted to be an actor, oh, well, worse, you are worse off for it. You had better just wear your thinking cap. But I think it is because of the impact this particular industry, entertainment industry, has made over time, and even before now. We give kudos to our founding fathers, both in music, in different art forms, because if you talk about entertainment, fine and applied arts, and also other forms of art, they all form entertainment. And we should not just look at it within the periphery of only music and acting. No, football, it is part of it. Even journalism is entertainment, because it all depends on how your presentation is. Those of us in the print and electronic media, it's also part of the entertainment. Journalist presentation, you see a lot of people want to appreciate, oh, well, I love that man's program. It's entertaining. So, in all that, I think that without removing anything from the corporate world or Nigerians, it's about time. It's been said over time, because even in the United States of America and Europe, basically, we have seen the role entertainment has played in the economy of that sector. So what they are just doing now is trying to appreciate, even though we've not gotten to our Eldorado, but a lot more, I would say a lot more, we need it. So much has happened in the past. Nigeria is quite, a lot of people are not happy. The economy, there's so much pressure every here and there. So we need all this to jazz up the system and relax people and put down the pressure. And beyond that is the fact too that we think that entertainment has a lot. It will take a lot of unemployment in Nigeria. Let me stop there for now.
Well, what you just succeeded in doing is defending the entertainment industry. But the question actually I was going to ask, yes, I am one person who is indeed impressed and happy that the entertainment industry in Nigeria is growing. But we have a challenge here, where we're beginning to have a drift. Time was when, if you studied engineering, for instance, in this country, and you travel to any part of the world, you are sought after. Time was when, if you studied any form of science in this country, you travel abroad, of course, nobody's going to look at you twice, because they know the depth of the training that we had in Nigeria at that time. But the sudden discovery of how lucrative the entertainment industry could be is becoming another discovery of oil. And what that is essentially doing is that we're beginning to have a drift, a situation where people who are not even talented to be practitioners in the entertainment industry, everybody is moving towards that direction. Nobody is now studying science, nobody is studying engineering, nobody is studying administration. And the question is, just like the rail sector is suffering, across the globe we know that when the rail sector is performing, the banks do well. In Nigeria, the reverse is the case. The rail sector is suffering, we are not manufacturing, and banks declare huge profits. So the challenge here is that we have a bottom line where even these organizations who sponsor entertainment will now begin to go home, because most of the major investors in these organizations that finance entertainment are foreign-based organizations. And then they begin to go back to bring in their own people to man those other special key areas that otherwise should sustain the economy. Because I tell you something, if I am empowered, I have the resources to go to the stadium to pay and watch a football match. I have the resources to go get a ticket and go to movie. So that's the challenge, and that's what I want to find out from you. What's your take on that?
Yeah, very seriously speaking, I haven't listened to you, and having also, said some of the misgivings or your fears that you have, I beg to differ or disagree a little bit.
Okay.
I think, and what I see is a concomitant of various variables, particularly in our dear country, Nigeria. If we look at the educational system, and we will find out there are a lot of loopholes in trying to encourage for professionals to be where and be proud of what they have done. You are right when you say so many people are coming in, and maybe there are some organizations now that are now, all people are now sponsoring, some things. Yeah, we see certain private individuals who find or have found the need for us to actually capture and see us as partners. Now, you are also dead right that it has now become a non-commerce affair. So many people who have no business whatsoever to have anything to do with the entertainment sector are now trying to come in. Particularly those people who feel that there's no need, you don't need to go to school, you don't need to be educated for you to showcase your talent. But it all depends on the the kind of talent that you have. Because for some of us, I have been amongst most of the pioneers of the industry, and I have always said to people that education is key if you want to be very successful. That majority of us who are successful today, or whom people view as role models, you must go to school. We encourage people to do that, and I continue to tell them. hard work pays. It's not a case of leaving your particular profession and thinking that this is a gold mine. I tell you something, you really need to work hard for you to succeed in the entertainment business. If you don't have the talent and if you don't work hard, you ain't going nowhere, and that is the truth. And to that, I think that the viewership in listening to this particular program, it is wonderful. I commend it. We need from time to time to have this kind of judgment, this kind of discussion that can make us and make government and those who are in particular different professions and sector be proud and be able to develop their respective fields of human endeavor. Every profession is key. Every profession is important. We have to be proud of who we are and what we are. Hard work pays. No matter what you do, as long as you continue to believe in that, is belief. You have to be proud of what you have done, and you have to develop a system where you have to let those other people who can take over from you as a core professional and create that enabling environment within that your environment to make it people appreciate it, and you find out that people will like it.
All right, guys, I'm sure you're enjoying yourself as much as I am. This is someone who needs no introduction in the entertainment world. Of course, in various homes across not just Nigeria but the continent of Africa. You will agree with me that Ejike Asiegbu has paid his dues, and I'm glad we have him here today discussing with us on this issue of great national importance. We are going to take a break. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be back. You're welcome back. You're still watching A Chat to the Professional, and my guest here remains a past president of the Actors Guild of Nigeria, and also has been a special assistant to the governor of Abia State on culture. Ejike Asiegbu is a very known face in what we know today as the Nollywood, and that's the Nigerian movie industry. What we've been discussing before we went on break, you've tried to give an overview of the developments in the industry, how far we've come. I have a question here. Do you think so far we even have enough investment? Do we have enough commitment from these corporate organizations, even the ones that have tried to come out to say, okay, we are sponsoring X, Y, Z in the industry? Do we have enough?
Thank you very much. When you did ask, or your fear about the industry, I mainly laughed. What we see at the moment, what we have at the moment is it's just on a skeletal basis where some companies wish to identify with the entertainment industry. But like I did mention earlier on, it is because of the doggedness, and in our days when we were starting, it was more like a lot of us were paying the sacrifice. I remember when we started, we were not paid 1 naira. If I remember the soaps, which I did in those days, it was for either 100 naira or 50 naira that we used to take way back in those days at Enugu. Now, very seriously speaking, what we have are still skeletal. We do not have the kind of thing ordinarily that we expect that we should have in terms of very serious corporate partnership and sponsorship. Apart from EcoBank that just came in and did 1 or 2 things. I think they sponsored some, so 4 producers. The whole idea was to shoot, at least they empowered to an extent, the industry a little bit, and some people were lucky who benefited from that. Yeah. And I'm sure they were able to recoup their money. You will see most of the producers, experienced producers you've seen, every one of them will tell you that they are still spending their money actually to make these movies. So when people tell you, apart from musicians whom I must celebrate, whom I must give kudos to as well, who on their own, it's not easy. If you ask them, Keke and Setogu D1 have done well in helping most of them, signing them and giving them a hope to survive. And now people like Two-Face Idibia, the Twins, P-Square, and Coco Master, and so many of them, the Badge, they have done pretty well, and as icons in the industry. And you can see that some of us, when I was president of Actors Guild of Nigeria, I had challenged the industry to the extent that both on television and on electronic and on print media, about the need for most of our communication companies to rise up to the occasion. Because abroad, if you are a star, you are treated like one, you are signed up. It was part of that revolution that some of us had said that made Globacom to actually sign on some of our actors and actresses today who have become ambassadors. But we do expect other communication outfits should also take a cue from that. Erroneously, some of them think that because there is a partnership between all our actors and some of those people. And I want to use this opportunity to say no, they should not shy away from it. There's no pact actually between the organization as a body, between Actors Guild or the Yoruba group, ANTAP, or anybody to say it is one particular communication outfit that they should do business with. It means they should be able to take the bull by the horn to invest in all these people, because that's how it's done abroad. But having said that too, I wish to say that all of us are private initiative driven, and we are still struggling. Ejike, I don't know if you heard about an award-winning film, Ejike the Journey, which is still being premiered all over. Did very well. The young girl, Chineze is her name, she studied in the United States of America, and she's still there. She goes and still comes back to Nigeria. A young girl who has done so well, I'm proud of. And I want to tell you that it's her family actually that sponsored that movie. Her family. It shows you that if they did not have the confidence and in the girl, they would not have sponsored that movie. And today it has been able to give us a lot of kudos from the international community. This on a skeletal basis. Some of those companies, apart from in our state, in my state, Abia State, my governor, Dr. Theophilus Orji, as well, has a lot. And he has said that the tourism industry in Abia State is quite key. So we need to not just individually, other aspects and other fields, they don't need to die. We need to have professionals, right professionals in those key areas, and the ability to discover what they require to do to energize those systems. I can assure you, will bring about positive change in all aspects of the economy, and that's what we need.
All right, thank you. Having said that, I would like to ask you, perhaps the last one now. What does it take for one to become an actor? That's your primary area. What does it take for one to come out a successful actor? In terms of training, we are looking at younger ones who are out there watching you today, talking to them, getting this inspiration from you. Yes, I want to be like Ejike Asiegbu, so what do I need to do?
That's a tall one. It's a tall order. But I must tell you, viewers out there as are listening, it didn't come by chance. I had to work hard. And when I mean work hard, you have to go back to school. I started acting from secondary school. Then I was in dramatic society. And 77, even from my Form 1, I was in Form 1 in 74, 75. And I had discovered that I was a restless young boy, but then I found all those things very interesting because of my family. We used to, in fact, my upbringing, when we were growing up from the village, folk tales, we used to tell us a lot of stories. My dad, my grandmother, my mother, and the rest of them. It started like that.
By the way, do those things still exist?
Of course, they do not exist. All those things are all gone. We need to go back. We need to go back to history. And very quickly too, you find out that we live in an existentialist economy and state where everything is now survival of the fittest. It has made for parents to abdicate their responsibilities in terms of teachings and what to impact on their children, high moral ground. But we are still lucky that we still have some of our wives who still have, because as for fathers, only very few percentage still find time to actually come back home and help in their children's examination or upbringing. All these things are very, very key. Education is key for you to become hardworking, for you to go to school. I always advocate. I'm an advocate that you should go to school and don't be a dropout. Be consistent and listen to your teachers, and work very hard and be disciplined. If you're not disciplined, you cannot make your grades. You cannot pass. That is the first school. Finish your primary education, you go to your secondary education. It's all about education. If you go to university, pass your grades well from secondary school, be focused and be dedicated in everything you are doing. At the end of the day, you should be able to choose what course. If you want to study theater arts, for me, I studied theater arts. I first went to IMT Enugu, where I did my A-levels. And after my A-levels, I had admission to study marketing. Even when I was in Enugu, I was also acting. I have left secondary school now. And secondary school, I was an actor.
Yes.
You know, it took me quite a while and time. I was to study marketing. But at the end of the day, because then while I was in Enugu, I was very close to my first director in Enugu ABS. Was also Amadi. You know, then those days were beyond the rim, beyond the realm. And then finally I got hooked up to a member of cast of New Masquerade. I also was in Bassi and Company, you know, and before even later Checkmate. You know, these things took time, but I went to school. I found myself going to University of Port Harcourt after I finished my A-levels and had admission to study marketing in IMT. I was able to identify. I had the appetite. I had the hunger to read.
Yeah.
I had the hunger to study. Barring extraneous limitations as then, even though I was popular on old Anambra State television and also in Nigeria for some people who watch Nafete productions, we were part and parcel of that. But I still had to go to school to acquire that knowledge more. That's one thing for you to be talented, and there's another thing for you to have that talent and also go to school to study, to be an authority, to be a master, mastering the art and knowing the basic rudiments and why you are in that field. It will make you a better actor, it will make you a better person, and there's no shortcut to it. And today, if you look properly, you will still find out that even if you studied another course, with due respect to other people who studied English, who studied other courses, but who also have the talent, I can tell you, I make bold to repeat, that with your talent and with the talent of those people, and who didn't study theater as but are graduates, which is key, they are educated. There's always a difference between those somebody who also had that talent and studied that major course.
Okay.
So these are things that if our younger ones can be able to have the enough patience, and not these days because they have found out that it gives fame. Everybody now is running. Yes. You better go to school. It's very, very key. And you study.
All right. Thank you very much. Finally now, the program, what do you have to say about it shortly? 30 seconds.
Well, viewers out there, I think this is one of the best programs I have participated and watched. And I think that this is what we need. Every father, every parent, every ward, every parent must encourage their children to watch this program. And also, for sponsors out there, we need sponsorship in this kind of program. We need more of this kind of program to encourage the producer of this program so that you'll have time to watch with your children. Even in your office, also you listen. At your spare time, you begin to look at certain issues, why the educational system in Nigeria needs to be improved. And other disciplines, what we need to do to ensure that every other person, exactly, who are professionals in other disciplines, must be proud of their discipline.
All right. Thank you very much. This is what we call a professional handshake. It's a
Thank you very
on the show.
and
my pleasure having you once again. And we hope to have you someday soon, maybe to talk more about the entertainment industry with particular emphasis on the acting world, whether we're getting it right or wrong.
Thank you very much.
Please don't go away. I'll see you on the other side to wrap up this show. Well, what more can I add? That's Ejike Asiegbu there, doing what he knows how best to do, holding the audience. And you will agree with me that this is someone who has paid his dues in the industry. And you also heard him there talking about what it takes to become an actor. You need to go to school. And that's what we've been screaming on this show. If you go to Lagos, if you go to Enugu, go to anywhere a shooting is taking place, you see a lot of secondary school leavers clustering, struggling to get what they call the Waka Pass roles. Now, they are not doing that just because of the passion or because they've got the talent. They are doing that because supposedly there's fame on the way. Now, when that fame comes and you are not educated, how are you going to be able to manage yourself? That's the question we keep asking. So, I'm glad he's been on this show today to talk to you about what it takes to be a good actor. You need to go to school, and that's what we are doing on this show, encouraging people to become professionals, come out from the university to be a proud practitioner of a course you have studied. We are not saying that engineers shouldn't work in bank or in banks. We are not saying that economists, or rather agriculturists, shouldn't work in the banks. But in working in the banks, we shouldn't have an engineer employed as a marketer in a bank, or someone who has studied, for instance, theater art, going into a bank to become a cashier. We are saying we need to put round pegs in round holes. An engineer, for instance, should be able to assist a bank in analyzing their risk level when they are giving out a facility to an engineering company, for instance, or any organization that is into something that is engineering based, and so on and so forth. That's what we are clamoring for on this show, so that together we can develop Nigeria to be a country we are all proud to be nationals. Let us be able to develop our own camera chains. Let us be able to, if you like, if not match what obtains in other climes, of course overtake them in technology when it comes to movie making and so on and so forth. Actors themselves alone cannot manufacture this. Their role will be to interpret the storyline. And then we have other professionals who will do the remaining. So, if I keep talking, of course, the time wouldn't let us, but this is what we have for you for today's episode of the program, A Chat to the Professional. Remember, our campaign is still ongoing, mobilizing for 300 TV sets, which we intend to distribute to secondary schools with boarding facilities. If you are a state governor, if you are a local government chairman, if you are a chief executive of an organization, this is an opportunity for you to make a difference. As a matter of fact, you have a right to nominate schools of your choice when you do make these donations. Till next week when I come your way, I remain Martin Sobu saying stay blessed and I'll see you.